What's going on, everybody?
Yo, what's up, Hollow Cult?
So
How's
we're
it
back with
going?
another episode of the night shift.
Yes, we are. Hope everybody had an excellent holiday weekend, and hope it goes into this holiday weekend. And everybody has fun. Stay safe. Ridiculous.
Steve, your internet is cutting out like crazy.
Solid.
You sound like a robot right now.
I feel like a robot.
Well, that makes the most sense. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just hoping everybody had a good holiday.
Mine was. We had a good holiday.
I mean, I am a cyborg,
You are a cyborg.
so it works out.
You are.
But that definitely checks
Tomorrow,
out that my internet's shit.
tomorrow at the Brady household, we are having international race night since we got Gage that drag race track
Oh,
for all of his
solid.
Hot Wheels. So we're totally having international race night. It's gonna be sweet.
Are you taking bets?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my paycheck on any Bugatti that Gage brings to the
Oh, that's not
table.
even fair. Oh, he's already got his picks, man. He's already got them lined out and ready to go. So it is what it is. But I know as far as speaking of, did you have a decent Christmas?
Yeah, wasn't bad.
Good.
Got to hang out with the family. The boys didn't get to come into town because Everett had knee surgery a while back. It didn't heal up right, so we had a manipulation procedure last Saturday. So he's in rigorous physical therapy.
That's
So he's doing that 5 days a week, but he should be back. They're coming back in 2 weeks, I think. So we're gonna do our Christmas and Maddie's birthday is coming up. By the time this drops, he'll be the big 1-3. Happy birthday, Maddox! He said he was gonna
awesome.
pop in here, so
Happy
that'd be
birthday,
cool.
buddy.
But I got a bunch of cool stuff. I got this boom arm from my mom, so I ain't got to be hunched over the whole time.
Yeah.
And I got a bunch of books, and Sarah got me infrared night vision for when we go find Bigfoot. So
Hell yeah.
pretty sick.
That's awesome.
How was yours?
That's awesome. It was great, man. I had a good time hanging out with family. My sister, my oldest sister, she flew back from Arizona, so we got to see her and hang out with her and her fiance, and we spent a lot of time together, the family, over the weekend, which was nice. And then the kids had a great Christmas, so I couldn't be happier with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I
Yeah,
saw the
it
picture,
was
the
great.
video you sent me of them using the racetrack. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, yeah, they love it. So, but anyways, off to the world of strange. I know that it's probably going to be a pretty cool episode tonight. So it's a shame for anybody who's not going to be here, because I know my family had a couple weird occurrences over this week here, and Steve, what was it, your brother,
Yeah.
was having is having a bunch of weird stuff go on too. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting, but I guess I'll start. So we dropped the Santa Claus episode, right? And which would have been the day after, of course. But here we are, Christmas Eve. The family's getting ready for Santa Claus. And like, we're all up, we're all awake. My wife and the kids set out cookies and milk for Santa. I'm kind of in the background getting things ready for bed and what have you. And I get a shower, lay in bed with my daughter. We start watching TV. The wife goes and gets a shower. My son, he's pretty much already passed out in bed. And my wife walks out there in the living room and then turn around and comes back, and she has this like puzzled look on her face. And she's like, "That's weird." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, she kind of like stands there in hesitation, and she's like, "One of the cookies is gone." And I'm like, "What?" One of the cookies is gone. And I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here." And she's like, "I swear." Well, I can vouch for Maeve. May was in bed with me watching TV. My son, he was in his bed asleep. So that leaves one culprit outside of Santa Claus. It leaves one culprit. There's my dog. He's a little chihuahua, but his hips are getting bad, and the poor shithead is almost blind. Now, is it possible he stood up onto, because there's no way he's jumping onto the coffee table. There's no way, it's not happening. He could have stood on the coffee table and snatched one of the cookies and rolled out. However, me and my wife walked through the house looking for crumbs anywhere. His bed. Every once in a while, he goes and chills in Maeve's bed. Look all around the house, can't find any crumbs at all whatsoever. And then you would also think, if he devoured an entire sugar cookie, A, he'd probably get sick, but B, why wouldn't he have gone back and finished the cookies off?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He
That's a
did,
good point.
So not saying it was Santa Claus, but it is fucking weird because earlier that day, I was joking around because me and Shauna kind of loosely talked about the Santa Claus episode, and I was like, it's going to be a good one because our conversation and it's pretty on point. Like, it's good. And I was joking earlier that day. I was like, I'm gonna catch this motherfucker tonight. If he's real, I'm catching Santa Claus, right? So I was putting that out there, and I was just kind of, I was joking about it, obviously, and then she she comes in and reports that, and I'm just like, whoa. I
He
mean,
beat you to the punch.
right, yeah, and
He
of
says, "You're
course,
gonna catch me. Good luck.
right.
Thanks for the cookie."
I showed up while you motherfuckers were awake, and I was in and out, son.
He
So
knows when you're sleeping
right,
and when you're not.
right, and I don't know, man. It's fucking bizarre. But the other thing is gonna be for more. I guess I would say more of the dedicated group who pay attention to our personal stories. And I don't know, I don't remember if it is exclusive Patreon stories or not, but I had multiple occasions where me and the wife would be laying in bed at night trying to go to sleep or what have you, and we would hear a bean. Well, it would sound like something dropping in one of the glass vases on our dresser. And come to find out later on, it was actual black. It's a black bean that was inside the vase. For whatever reason, we have no idea how it got there. Nobody touches these vases, nothing. They just sit there doing their job and looking cool, I guess. And then, so out of curiosity, things change, the story evolves, and I'm not going to get into the whole story, but the noise kind of stopped for a little bit, and then it started to come back a little bit. And then, just out of curiosity, my wife got to thinking about it, and she's like, I haven't noticed the noise in a while. So she went to the same vase because for whatever reason, I don't know why. I can't tell you why. I don't know. We never messed with the bean. We just left it in the vase. We never decided to throw it away, never decided to take it out, nothing. So she decides to check it one day out of curiosity. She's like, I haven't heard it in a while. And she checks that thing, and there's no bean in it. The bean is now gone. It's MIA. It's just straight up gone.
That's so weird.
So I really don't know how to explain that because normally, like on clean days and what have you, that's my room to clean. I'll clean our bedroom, and I never take the vase to dump it out or nothing like that because all it's in there is that one single black bean. So I
Santa
don't know.
probably took it. Santa
I don't
probably
know.
took it when he took the cookie.
Maybe. I
It's
don't
weird
know.
that it's also weird that you told me that you've heard it recently, like probably within the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks.
Yep.
That's
And now it's gone.
weird.
So that begs the question: was it gone
When you heard it,
when I heard it, right? Or is it now for whatever reason gone?
That's weird.
That is super weird. And I
weird.
don't know what to make of it. I haven't done the only thing and it's weird, but the only thing that I have done differently as far as protection or any of that, there's only one thing that I did different, and that was I made myself
Mm-hmm.
that protection rune that I keep on my keychain now. That's the
So,
only thing that I've done different.
yeah.
Outside of that, every once in a while I still will lay in bed at night and I give thanks, hey, thank you for keeping my family safe. Thank you for keeping them in good health. That type of shit. Every other night, whatever, a couple times a week, I do that. But outside of that, I've done nothing different. So I don't know. Maybe everybody out there who's been sending us, because I know a lot of people have been keeping us in their thoughts and prayers.
Sending the
Because
hollow vibes out.
yes. So does that have something to do with it? Does my rune have something to do with it?
I don't know, man.
Did it finally just give up on me and just roll the fuck out? I don't know.
Because
I
I
don't
was
know.
trying to like keep mental notes on when the bean would pick up. And it
Hmm.
seems like when you had more turmoil in your life, like when you're stressed out about your job and all this other stuff,
Yeah.
like the bean would slowly make its
So
way
like
back in.
weasel its way back in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some Sheila in the chat says if the bean comes back, you need to bury it. Then you'll have a whole angry tree out in the yard.
I don't think I would like a giant piss tree.
No.
That's not going to be too cool.
You deal with enough trees, man. But a couple things. We had someone submit probably the creepiest Santa Claus encounter I have read to date. But I
Awesome.
think I'm going to save it for our listener submission. They said we could read it out, but they want to remain anonymous.
Okay.
It's I'm not doing Christmas anymore.
Awesome.
Done.
I love
Done.
it.
But my little brother, I know this isn't my story to tell, but he comes to me. He doesn't push the weird shit like we do. He doesn't. He's just chill. He just he's just an all around good dude. Minds his business. Hangs out. He just got engaged, by the way. Shout out to Dylan and Taylor.
Congratulations, Dylan.
Congratulations. Wanted to shout that out. My little sister got engaged too, but it's a little while back, and I forgot to shout her out. But shout out to Molly and Adam as well.
And Craig, congratulations.
Yes, I got to get that in there. But he's had some weird stuff going on, right? They moved into this old house a couple blocks away from me. Like it's old. The foundation is probably at least 150 years old. But ever since they moved in, weird stuff has happened offhand. But he's just the kind of person that like writes it off. Him and Taylor were sitting in their living room with their two dogs, just kicking it. This is probably last year, maybe. And they go into the kitchen and the refrigerator door's open, just wide open. So they're like,
It's
okay,
weird.
that's weird.
That's
Could it
weird.
not have shut on its own? Maybe.
Sure.
Weird enough for them to think about it. He messaged me, what was it? The day after Christmas? And no, it was Christmas Day night. They were going home. We all went to my mom's house. He messages me and he's like, man, something else weird is going on. He's like, we got home. We were the only ones there. The dogs were kenneled. Taylor walks through the door and you go into their laundry room when you go in and they have a scale in there. And the scale is one of those ones that the numbers light up blue and the light lights up.
Yeah.
But it has to have so much pressure on it before it'll start.
Right.
Like 20 pounds of pressure, however much. He said as soon as Taylor walks through the door, she stops because the light on the scale is on. Like someone had been on it and just stepped off.
Yeah.
Because it only stays on for like 30 seconds once you get off of it. So something had to have applied pressure to it just then. He texted me this morning and he's like, man, it just keeps building up. He's like, we were all in bed last night and he's like, sometime in the morning, I am woken up by hearing glass shattering in the house. Well, both of the dogs were asleep in the bed with him. The same time that happened, MJ, their dog, jumps off the bed and runs into the rest of the house. So essentially, she heard it too.
Right. So she's
Dylan
out
jumps up.
investigating now at this point.
Dylan jumps up thinking somebody's in the house, somebody's broke in, something's going on. He said he looked the whole house over. He didn't find anything broken. No candles, no dishes, no windows, no nothing. It's just all there. He can't find any evidence of what the phantom sound was. circling back around to possibly connected weirdness, but also weirdness that connects to me, is he was at my mom's Christmas Eve. No, not Christmas Eve. The eve before Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. And he had an incident with the grinding wheel. I know I've talked about it, but my mom's a nurse, so she's always checking it out, making sure he's okay, right? He goes down there, she treats the wound and everything, and he's leaving late, like 10:30. So as he's going out on the same bluff where I heard the whistler encounter, where the thing was whistling, I was whistling back.
Right.
He's like, I swear. He's like, up on the bluffs. This was Friday too, when the wind chill was -40. There shouldn't have been anybody out, period, the end. He's like, as I was walking out to the truck, I promise you on everything, something was on the bluff and it was yelling Yahoo at me. This was like 11 o'clock at night. He's like, it was just like Yahoo. And I'm like,
I love it.
I'm like, oh, he's like, the only thing I could think of was the Fae and the Icelandic encounter that Josh Gates had.
100%.
It's the only thing I could think of, where the little thing you hear woo in the background and it throws his camera over. He's like, that's all that I could think of the whole time. So I'm like, man, that's weird.
That's exactly where my mind went when you said that. I'm like, oh, Josh Gates, 100%.
Like, what do you even do with that? What are you even supposed to do with the phantom Yahoo we have going on?
I don't know.
Because I mean, it sounds Sasquatchy, you know.
A little bit, yeah, for sure.
They make all sorts of weird. They supposedly make all sorts of weird noises.
Do they whistle?
I have heard accounts that they whistle. You can whistle at them and they whistle back. Yeah. But the fact that his mind went directly to the Fae, and now we're having all this stuff going with Santa, where, I mean, they say Santa's an elf.
Best fucking comment of the night goes to Birdie.
Yep. Ric Flair Bigfoot confirmed. I didn't even it may, you know what? It may have been actually Ric Flair on a coke bender, not even realizing that it's 40 degrees.
Dude.
Just up running through the bluffs of the Illinois River bottoms.
How does that not
just
make
giving
sense?
Elbow drops on the bluff, tearing his suit jacket off.
Just coked out of his mind.
Yeah. Just absolutely out
when you put it that way, I mean, if I was a betting man, I think I would bet more on the Ric Flair.
He may have had a Sasquatch in the figure 4 up on the bluff yelling woo, and Dylan just caught the last part of it.
Well, and to be honest, now
if Bigfoot would have just tapped out, there would we even be having this conversation?
No. And now it's Dylan's fault. Now it's Dylan's fault that we didn't get video footage of
the best,
probably one of Ric Flair's last fights. And and to tee off on what you're getting ready to say, one of the most legitimately best wrestling matches of all time.
Yeah.
Ric Flair
Bigfoot's
Sasquatch.
Bigfoot's inaugural match and Ric Flair's retirement match. And Dylan missed it. Good
job, Dylan. Way to fucking drop the ball.
Oh man, you know what? The chat's getting wild.
Dylan, you are gonna get the classic do better.
Do better.
Do better, buddy.
Burton's in here. What's up, Burton? I see the Silver Pills popped in here. What's up, guys?
What's up?
I'm seeing a lot of people from the Discord. Colleen's in here.
The Discord family is tight.
Yeah, Autumn's in here. Cheryl's in here.
Oh man, I love it. I love it so much.
I could just sit here and shout at everybody. We're glad that you're all in here hanging out with us.
For sure.
But yeah, that's kind of Dylan's little encounters he's got going on. I don't know. There is a story behind the house.
What's up, Paranormal Trucker?
Oh, what up, Paranormal Trucker? Good to see you in here. There is some story behind the house. My friends growing up, their grandparents lived there, and their grandmother, sweetest woman in the world, sweetest woman I ever met, but she passed away years ago. So that's something we kind of keep in the back of our mind, that she always lived in that house. I'm not making I'm not pushing the connection there, but it's just something that we think about.
Right.
Because it's not, I mean, it isn't necessarily malevolent toward Dylan, but after he moved in, they started doing all kinds of renovations, tore out the living room floor, and did all
Yeah,
this stuff.
that could be to it.
Exposed all the old original foundation, which was all made with like flat creek rock, like it's super
That's
old.
cool. That's cool. I mean, maybe she's just playing one of the wrestling's greatest wrestlers intro song.
Oh yeah, when the glass broke, that's the first thing I would have thought. Stone Cold was running into
Yeah,
just everybody's getting a stunner.
could you imagine
Everybody's getting a
the
stunner.
ghost of Stone Cold running in, just stunning Dylan, and then running out?
That would be Dylan's luck.
It would be Dylan's luck.
That would be Dylan's luck.
Oh God,
I
love
did.
it.
I did find a little something. Let me pull it up here that I wanted to share with everybody and get their thoughts. I want to also keep in mind that when we do the open lines, you don't have to have a paranormal encounter. If you just have something that you like to talk about, as long as you keep it weird. If you just want to like strike up a conversation,
Oh
just
yeah,
keep
or
it strange,
ask a
keep it
question.
respectful. Yeah, if you
Ask
want
a
to ask
question.
questions, because I know that some people don't feel comfortable coming on and sharing their experiences.
Right.
If you want to ask us some stuff, but we just ask that you keep it respectful, keep it in the weird paranormal realm,
Yeah.
and we'll see what happens.
Let's not get the night shift shit canned already.
Yeah, let me pull up this coast to coast thing that I saved here. It is about. Oh man, I don't know that it saved there or not.
Popo, we do
Wow.
have the moves. Be rest assured, we do.
We do. I pulled it up. I think it was on Coast to Coast, I believe.
Everybody's loving the wrestling shit right now.
We do have a lot of wrestling fans in here.
Oh yeah, Darth Squad.
That's pretty solid.
Hollow Sky 316 says we just weirded your ass.
That's a shirt. Darth Squatcher just legitimately is making merch on the fly.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, everybody. I thought I had it saved in my Facebook, but it's not.
Generalize
being.
it. You remember it halfway?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm searching it up. It's about Baba Vanga and some of her predictions for 2023. I know it popped up because it was on Coast to Coast, but I thought it would be interesting for me. Here we go. Found it to kind of touch on it a bit and see if anything comes true. So this is from Coast to Coast. It says Mystic Baba Vanga's predictions for 2023 and beyond. Known as the Nostradamus of the Balkans, Baba Vanga passed away in 1996 at 85, but more than 25 years later, her reported prophecies continue to stir the imagination. While there is some controversy over what exactly she predicted, there was no official publication. Here are some of the predictions linked to her for the upcoming year. So there is 4 of them here, and we will see if they come true, and I hope that they do not.
Oh, so there are for 2023?
Yes.
Oh,
They do this every
shit.
year. They post their predictions and see how they go. So I figured we'll talk about them now, and then we can go back.
How far out did her predictions go? And did she do it? Did she do it specifically
get
year
there.
to year? Did she do it every single year?
People think that she kind of plugged a few in everywhere, but we'll get to the far out ones after we get to the 2023s.
Let's do this.
So she says, a calamitous solar storm will hit the Earth on a scale not seen before, which is interesting because we have heard of solar flares and.
Didn't we just talk about this on the last one?
From 2012.
From 20. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha. I remember us talking about it.
What is it? Mass coronal ejections,
Yes.
CREs or whatever.
Yeah.
And we've heard that the sun is getting a little angry in this season he's in, so definitely a possibility. Bioweapons research will lead to the demise of thousands of people.
I mean,
bro,
is that for the past year or this upcoming year?
This is for 2023.
Okay, so I mean, let's be fair here. I feel like if she's real and her predictions are real, I feel like a grace period should be allotted to her predictions, right? Personally, I feel that way.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you go a couple years backwards and she's on the money.
We also don't know what's coming.
That's true too. That's absolutely true.
That could have been the tip of the iceberg.
Dude, I 100% agree.
She also says that the orbit of the Earth will shift, possibly due to a nuclear disaster or an asteroid hit.
Well, I mean,
She's really dark in this one for 2023 today.
well, to be fair, we're not far off of that reality either.
Yeah. And she also states that children will begin to be born in laboratories.
That I could see that.
We'll move ahead. 1996.
Okay, so not too crazy long ago. Not out of the realm of possibility for her mind to venture down that road, so to speak.
So, according to Coast to Coast.
But real quick, before you go any further, yes, Colleen, I have heard how the Earth is shifting or has shifted before in the past. That's one I wanted to bring up. And I've been hearing a lot of talk about people, countries, people like Elon Musk, and they just completed, I believe,
excuse me.
Didn't they just complete where they fired rockets at a comet or something enough
So
they weird, right?
Successfully knocked it out of orbit enough to where if it needed to be done,
it could be done.
They could do it.
But how weird is that her prediction of that, and then it's, because it's almost like, if you want to play into it a little bit, it's almost like our governments know that it could be coming, and so they've been trying to prep their asses off to get to this point where, we need to push this bitch out of the way, because if not, we're about to be annihilated.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is terrifying. That would be one of the most terrifying
scenarios.
Yeah, because there's nothing you can do about it. Not a thing.
If you were in a government position, would you tell the public, or would you just let it happen?
I would tell people.
You would. I think my conscience would get to me, and I would let everybody know.
The only reason why I would is so everybody could be with their family.
That's what I was thinking. Spend your last days the way you want to spend them.
Yep. Because
everybody's asking, like, when did she predict it? I don't know. Sometime before 1996, because she croaked. What's her average? She made a lot of ones that didn't hit, but she also made a lot of ones that did. She made some predictions for 9/11. She made some predictions for the rise of Donald Trump into power. There were some that she hit on that were pretty specific, but if you predict 90 things and 2 of them come true, that's not... Most of us could probably hit that.
Yeah. And once again, Twisted, I 100% disagree. I would tell people without question. Now, how far out do you tell people? No, I wouldn't tell people 3 months out, because the world
would be chaos,
engulf itself. But I would try to find that time frame to where people wouldn't even have time to be mad. They're just going to be like, fuck, I got to spend time with my family. Everything else is just irrelevant at this point, because they could sit there and be pissed all they want. They could be like, well, you should have told us months ago, blah, blah, blah. But that's not going to change anything.
Yeah, it's still...
I could have told you last year, and it's not changing anything.
This astral apocalypse is headed this way.
Yes, there's literally nothing I can do about that.
Bob Tacular's in here said, what if the famous predictions are famous to get those specific thoughts into the populace to cause them to happen? Not that they're future events, like a mimetic thing.
Ooh,
where we think it and it happens.
I like that.
Well, sorry, folks. I guess I shouldn't have done this for a topic.
I like that.
Cheryl W., who's the predicting person, look her up. It's Baba Vanga, Bavanga, the Nostradamus of the Balkans.
Speaking of that, last one you read about us thoughting it into reality.
Yeah.
I have been thinking here lately.
Thinking things into reality?
Well, I've been thinking about doing that.
Manifest.
Oh, no. I was going to ask all of Holocult that we should try to come up with something.
Oh, that's a weird experiment.
Right?
You want to open that door?
Kind of.
Same. Same.
My man.
We are in it.
Yes.
Oh,
I don't quite know what, but I would definitely be into trying that.
well, we're gonna put some thought into this.
Yeah, we probably should do that definitely.
Oh, I just
Not
saw that.
just fire from the hip like we
Yeah,
normally
I
do.
saw that Dale was in here and he bounced out. I should have shouted him out beforehand, but thanks he kicked it in on his lunch break. So that's dedication right there.
Right on, homie. I appreciate
Uh,
you.
Burton says, if you remember the day they started that collider in an attempt to open a portal, that day in my area, a storm rolled through and the sky turned extremely green. If you search green sky in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Green sky, that was always an old thing. Old timers would say around here, if there was a green sky, high chances of tornadoes.
And portals.
Well, I mean, they're kind of two in the same, right?
Spaghetti Boy says, let's all think about Bigfoot starting an OnlyFans. Well, funny enough, I work with a guy who has a Bigfoot suit who is also thinking about that idea.
That's weird.
He's going to fill that niche.
That is
So,
Spaghetti Boy.
guess you could call him Ass
You are on
Squatch.
one. You're on
Get
one.
it? Ass Squatch.
But don't.
Here all week. Okay, but we're going to move on with some Baba Vanga stuff here. The Bulgarian prophetess, who according to accounts went blind after being swept up into a mysterious tornado, odd synchronicity here, talking about tornadoes and whatnot,
weird.
reportedly made far-flung predictions that are also fascinating to consider. So
these are ones that are way the fuck out there.
Yeah, So she states that between 2170 and 2256, a Mars colony stocked with nuclear weapons will demand independence from Earth. So,
that's not that far-fetched.
Intergalactic civil war.
That's not that far-fetched at all.
I mean, we got to get people on Mars and get weapons on Mars, but between 2262 and 2304, time travel will be discovered and developed.
Therefore, it's already real.
And then once it's here, it's always here.
Right, yeah.
During the years of 4302 and 4674, humans will have achieved immortality, assimilated with aliens, and live scattered throughout the entire cosmos. So in that 300-year time span, we will have achieved immortality.
So we just missed the mark.
We might still be here.
Yeah, right.
We only got to make it to time travel.
That's true.
Then we can go back and come forward.
How far out is time travel?
2260. 200 years?
Yeah, we're
250, bada bing.
You and me are definitely not making that.
Yeah, but someone will listen to the show and want to come back and get us because we're dope.
Ooh, valid point. I like that.
Okay. Future time travelers that have stumbled on to this live, come back and get us.
Please and thank you.
Please. Just come back, get us,
thank you,
and roll. What else do they state here? Last one. In 5079, the universe will come to an end. So after immortality is achieved, then everything is unachieved.
How long after immortality is achieved does it all fall apart?
Let's see here.
Because I'm not good with numbers and I barely.
About 500 years. We got about 500.
That's really not that long in the grand scheme of time. That's kind of like a drop in the hat. It's almost like the creator, if you will, is like, okay, you guys have won the simulation. Time to reset.
Yeah.
I'm anew.
Why not?
That's kind of weird that, and then not to mention, I mean, could you imagine the repercussions of humanity figuring out immortality? Like people who are rich are assholes.
Yeah.
Imagine people who know they're not going to die ever. And what power trip they'll be on.
And what does that mean for the universe ceasing to exist or whatever the hell she says? The universe will come to an end, but immortality is achieved. like maybe conscious immortality, or we recognize our own
I guess
consciousness and
that's
never
fair.
ends.
I guess that's fair.
Oh, let's roll through this and see where we're at here.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you, Mr. Obi-Wan. She sounds like a real party pooper.
Pimp Squatch. Weather patterns have been crazy. That's facts. How do we know we aren't already on Mars? I do not personally.
Oh,
I've never
dude,
been there.
I like that.
I've never checked it out.
This guy is changing it up on us.
We're in the year. Well, the universe has already ended.
Boom. Which we did an
Dunskies.
episode on that.
Dunskies. Bigfoot Society's in here. What's up?
What's going on, Bigfoot?
What up? What up?
I'm actually
Everybody roll over. Check out his pod. Check out his socials.
Yeah, for sure.
Got all kinds of good cryptid stuff. He's getting into some weirdness. Some weirdness.
Yeah, I'm actually from Twisted here, the Philosopher's Stone, and the Mighty Elixir, I assume that's pronounced. I am doing, which I talked about last live, but I have been writing about things with mystical properties, and I think it's going to be an awesome show.
Good.
It is so fucking cool, man, to read all these.
I want to find
so crazy.
The Ark of the Covenant. Is that too much?
No, not at all.
I mean, that's probably what the AI guys are after anyway. They're going to follow the runes. And they're going to find the Ark of the Covenant buried in Appalachia.
Probably.
And
they'll get murked so fast.
They'll send it to us.
And then we'll get murked.
We'll have the power. The power of the Ark.
Well, yeah. I'll just
Indiana Jones. We automatically turn into Indiana Jones.
That would be cool.
Colleen says Dangerous World Podcast brought this conversation up on people talking about immortality. Way back in history, people were working on it. I believe that. Makes you wonder if people have discovered it.
Well, then you have the old lore of the Fountain of Youth and stuff too.
Everybody's afraid to die.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
You know, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
I definitely want to stick around for at least 10 more solid years.
Do I still have to be at my current job?
For what?
To stick around for 10 more years.
For you? No. You're probably going to want to get away from that one.
Immortality would need a vessel that has zero wear and tear, or one that can self-replicate flawlessly. Nanotech, digital life. What if you're inside, or you're just in a simulation?
Which essentially we could be now.
You could exist forever.
Yeah. That was in an X-Files.
Oh, Maynard. How you doing, bud?
What up, my guy?
Hope you're all doing good.
For sure.
Bigfoot Society's asking what these mics are. SM7, I don't know.
They are the SM7Bs.
Kyle knows.
Yeah, I spent an entire weekend removing a tree to buy these fucking things. And it was miserable.
I remember that.
Ungodly miserable. And I do this for a living, and it was terrible.
Yeah, you regretted that immediately.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%.
Immediately. Oh, man. I can't believe we've already been on here talking for 40 minutes.
I know.
We get crazy. Going, and we just...
It's hard to stop us. It's hard to stop us.
And the chat's going good. Oh, great to hear, Maynard. I saw in the Discord that you had some things going on, but I'm glad to hear that you're hanging in and heavily medicated. You got to do what you got to do. Stay out of pain, my friend.
Probably feeling on point.
Yeah. So everybody send some hollow vibes to Maynard. Hopefully he gets to feeling better.
For sure.
ASAP.
For sure.
Okay. Man, we had over 50 people in here. That's a new record.
That's pretty crazy. I'm digging it.
I guess we could open the hollow lines if people got shit they want to talk about.
Yeah, let me.
Like I said, you don't have to have a paranormal encounter. If you just want to, if you got some questions to ask us, if you want to just chat some weird shit, just keep it respectful,
Pay attention.
keep
to
it
the
weird,
phone now.
and keep it dope.
Yeah, just don't talk about really dumb stuff that's going to get us in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, you know
That's all.
how the world is.
Yeah. Oh God, the phone's already ringing.
People would rather hear about Mothman than other shit.
Hello.
Welcome to the Hollow Line.
What's going on, buddy?
Hold up, Kyle. We don't have any sound through this side.
You don't have any sound?
No. Hang on 1 second.
Can't hear nothing?
No, I can't hear his I can't hear the phone coming through. Could you guys in the chat here?
Is that better?
Have him talk.
Can you hear Steve?
I can hear you, but I can't hear whoever's on the phone.
Can you hear him now?
No, nobody's getting it in the chat either.
Really?
Yeah. 1 second.
I can hear you. I can hear you just fine. I'm not sure as to why.
Gypsy says, I'm shaking my head no.
Let's see here. This is new. I don't understand why it would not be working.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's not working now. I guess I could try. Let me try something here. Try this. See if this doesn't work. Because if not, that's not good.
Please stand by. Hollow Cult.
Did you hear that, Steve?
No. Have him talk again.
Because he just... Yeah, I know. I don't know what's going on, Birdie. Can you hear me? I don't know what the hell is going on here.
Yeah, it's just not coming through our end.
Yeah, because I Bluetoothed it to the mixer. And then I'm also... I got it directly plugged in, which should be perfectly fine.
Hold that thought.
Connection.
So, chat, how's everybody doing?
I don't know what to do.
It's the FBI. That's probably true.
I don't have a clue as to what's going on. Because I can hear Birdie. I can hear him.
Yeah, it's just not coming through the StreamYard.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's not coming through there. It's got to be some type of technical difficulty. I don't know what to do. Default. Wait a minute. Let me see something here.
Kyle's troubleshooting. So,
Birdie, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
There it is. Money.
I got it. I got to figure it out.
Right on.
All right, so you can hear him now, Steve.
Yeah. Everybody in the chat hear him?
Say something, Birdie.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Yep, there it is.
All right, cool.
How about it, chat?
Awesome.
You guys hear it? All right.
That is awesome.
Crisis averted.
Yeah, I'm glad that I was able to figure that out. That was quick on the fly.
They thought you were the FBI for a minute, Birdie.
Shit.
I love it. So how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. About a beer and a half in, and
There you go.
Yeah. So I was talking in Discord, and I wanted to tell you about the truck stop Phantom.
Let's go.
I'm game.
Okay, so this was like around 2001, around September time. I'm working at a truck stop, but it got pretty much demoted to a gas station / cafe. And I'm getting ready to pack up for the night, and so is my coworker. We're waiting on our relief to come in, and he's late. So I'm like, I don't know what we're supposed to do. And she's like, well, it's your problem. So she leaves, and I'm like, okay. So I call my boss, and I'm like, yeah, so-and-so is not didn't show up yet. What do I do? And he's like, call me back in 15 minutes. If he's not there, I'll come down and watch the store. Right. So 15 minutes goes by, no show. Call him. Guess what? Phone shut off. So I pretty much got told, it's your problem. I'm like, great. So the setup for the store is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of difficult to explain. If you're sitting behind the counter, straight in front of you is the candy and drink aisle. A little to the left is the entrance. There's a hallway behind you with 2 bathrooms that leads to the cafe. And to your left, if you're sitting behind the counter, is a huge garage bay, which back in the day, it was a full service truck stop. Like people, you had mechanics working on cars, you had mechanics working on semi trucks. It was huge. And there's a small bathroom back there for truckers to come in and get cleaned up, and a couple of storage areas, whatever. And to one of the walls, if you walk through the doorway to your right, had all sorts of parts for cars, trucks, whatever, fuses, light bulbs, you name it, it's there. And before this, there wasn't anything in there. It was just a huge bay. But about a week before this happened, my boss moved 6 beer coolers, big drink coolers, side by side, and it kind of blocked the view to the trucker's shower bathroom thing. So I'm sitting behind the counter, and he's no call, no show, and they're like, it's your problem now. So I'm sitting there, and about 2 o'clock rolls by, and I'm like, good, 2 o'clock. So people might be coming home, like coming over there from the bar, and it's out here, it's last call for alcohol, so people are gonna try to come in and get beer and then split, right? So it's 2 o'clock, nobody shows up. I'm like, all right, great. So I get up, go use the bathroom, come back, sit down, and about 15 minutes later, I mean, this is a full-blown truck stop / gas station. I leave for a few minutes, use the bathroom, come back. You have no idea. Someone from the cafe side of the place came over, or somebody walked in and you didn't hear them. But I'm sitting behind the counter, mind my own business, and I catch movement out of my left eye, in the corner of my left eye. I see somebody come walking around the beer coolers, and it's my brain couldn't register it like immediately, but I thought I saw somebody move, and I see them come up, and it's a shadow, and I'm like, it's a full-blown like shadow person. It's not casting a shadow. And he walks over to these shelves that have fuses and light bulbs and stuff, and he starts pulling through the drawer. It looks like he's pulling through the drawers and looking at which type of fuse he wants to buy or whatever. And I turn and I look at him, and I yell through the doorway, and I'm like, can I help you? And he turns and he looks at me and he just dissipates, vanishes right in front of my face.
That's creepy.
And I shot off of the stool I was sitting on. It crashes into the counter. I go flying into the cafe. I sit at the bar and I light up a cigarette and I start smoking it like it's the last one I'm ever gonna have. And we got some old salty old timers that have been frequently in that cafe for 30 something years, right? This is early 2001. And one of the waitresses is like, "Hey honey, are you okay?" And I'm like, "I just think I saw a ghost." And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "I think I just saw a ghost." And somebody's like, "Oh, well, that was Old Red." And I'm like, "Who the hell is Old Red?" And then they're like, "Well, back in the 70s, someone, he was working on a car and they had those old hydraulic lifts, the pillar ones that had no like safety measures, where they just lifted it on a pole and you just hoped it stayed still. And he was working on it, and apparently that car tipped over on its side, fell off the pole, and crushed and killed him.
Isn't it wild that they never bring it up like beforehand, like, hey, this place is haunted. You have to see something, bring it up, and then they're like, hey, yeah, it's just Old Red,
I mean, well, would you work at a gas station in the middle of the night and they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, two murders happened here at exactly this time. Good night," and they leave. What the hell?
Could you make out any specific features like on his face or anything like that?
No, it was just, I don't know. It's kind of just like a shadow. But I did see like shoulders, like head, shoulders, stuff like that, like a person. But I mean, it was quick when it happened. But I did like see him physically turn and look at me, and then he's just like, "Oh shit, you weren't supposed to see me," and he vanished. And I'm like, "Okay, all right."
Yeah, that's
so nothing happened the rest of the night, right? 6 o'clock in the morning rolls around. My boss comes in, and he's like, "How did the night go?" And I was up all night. I mean, back then I was a huge Mountain Dew fan. I started drinking coffee after that. I drink coffee and coffee and coffee all night. And he's all, "Well, how's the night been?" I'm like, I thought I saw something last night. And, the people next door confirmed it. And he's like, "You're just, you're just being weird. No big deal." And I'm like, "Whatever, dude." And I got my stuff and I started walking out. And he's like, "Oh, by the way, if you don't come back tonight, you're fired." And I'm like, "Great.
Awesome. Typical management move.
So yeah. I go home. I immediately pass out. I got to be there at, what was it, 4, 5 o'clock, something like that. So I wake up, I get cleaned up, dressed, ready to go to work. I'm like, okay, that was a one-time thing, right? One-time thing. I was just tired. I've seen stuff, whatever. And I show up, same thing happens again. Mr. Numbnuts decided he wasn't going to show up to work again. I was like, great. I didn't even bother calling my boss. I was like, I know what's going to happen. So I stayed there. And I'm like, I could lock the doors, but then people from the cafe could just walk over and get whatever they want. So I'm like, fine, I'll stay here. Again, about after 2 o'clock, 2:15, 2:30, I'm sitting behind the counter and I see someone come out from like way back in the candy aisle. And with the candy aisle, you could go back there and it kind of doglegs to the left. And they used to have payphones for the truckers to call and get stuff. And sitting there and minding my own business, and I catch movement out of the corner of I catch movement, And I look up, and here he comes again, and he's walking down the candy aisle, and he stops and starts looking through the candy, like he's actually like picking it, like looks like he's picking him up, looking at him. And I'm like, oh no, not again. And I look at him, I go, can I help you? And he turns and looks at me, and he vanishes again. I'm like, not. I slam my hand on the counter, and I'm like, not again, not again. And I go back to the cafe, and I sit down and light up another cigarette, and they're like, what are you doing in here? I'm like, I saw that guy again. And they're like, oh, he won't hurt you. He's just stuck there or whatever. And I'm like, okay. And after that, I never got stuck on that shift again. But that is, besides the school, that was one of the scariest things that I've ever had to go through. Was one of those. I'm like, you hear about people seeing ghosts and stuff like that, but God, just when you see it for yourself, man, it's life changing. It'll definitely rewire your brain on how you think about stuff, man.
For sure.
Just, ugh.
It's kind of sad that he's like perpetually stuck in an existence of searching for something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's spending every
like he's
day looking for something.
Yeah, he's stuck looking for a certain part or something. And he can't move on unless he finds it. And I'm like, oh man, I feel sorry for this dude. Because like back in the 70s, everything was like way mechanical. And now it's not. Well,
yeah.
Yeah,
I hope that Old Red found what he was looking for.
I hope so too. Now it's a part of an RV place, so yeah.
I couldn't imagine being in your shoes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't imagine being in your shoes. Like you sitting there doing your job, and then you see someone effectively real to a degree enough for you to ask them if they need help, and then the thing just vanishes before your eyes.
Yeah, they turn and look at you, and you can I could kind of see eyes of some sort, like some kind of facial feature. Like you can see the head turn and like some sort of eyes or something like that, and then they just poof, vanish right in front of you. Oh,
yeah, I don't know.
Creepy.
I don't know how I would react to that.
When he was first talking about the shadow, seeing the shadow,
it was like you pretty much just shot out of your stool and ran to the other place that had people in it. You're just like, I ain't going back there, man. So
that's crazy.
Oh.
It is something when he's like haunting with a purpose, consistently looking for something.
Yeah, poor dude. Stuck there
forever.
Stuck there till he finds a part that doesn't exist anymore. Ugh.
Yeah, hopefully he just needed a candy bar.
True.
And then he rolled out.
That's what Darth Vader said. Abba Zabba, you my only friend. Haven't seen that movie in a long time.
I know.
But
hopefully he just got a Hershey's bar and he moved on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All he needed, some fuel to make the journey.
Pretty much, yeah. Sugar rush to the other side.
For sure. But thanks for calling in and sharing your story with us, Birdie.
No problem. I got some more if you ever want to hear them.
Awesome.
All right, fellas. Have a good New Year.
You too, buddy.
Stay weird and stay safe, bud.
Will do.
Yeah, Burton's in the chat said, I wonder if there was possibly security footage.
Oh, good call.
And it seems like he's well known around the truck stop. So people have seen him before.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's reasonable enough circumstances for a spirit to hang out,
Yeah.
Kinda.
And I mean, he could have worked there for 50 years, It might be the only thing he ever knew.
True. I just still can't wrap my brain around the idea of seeing something so clear like that. like
Yeah.
enough to where I even if I don't see all the details, but I see it enough to recognize like, oh, hey, here's a customer. I need to do my job and ask if they need help. And the second that I do, you visually see it
Just disappear.
look at you and then disappear. That's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah. It's wild. And it is. It's kind of sad, like I said, that he's stuck in a perpetual search
Yeah.
for something that he's clearly not finding.
Right. And at first it almost made me wonder if he was just stuck in a loop, a residual type thing. But then he said that the entity was able to, or went to a different location, essentially looking for something else. And then he rolled out once he got caught. Like that, to me, that shows a little bit of intelligence behind it, right? Because
Yeah.
the second you recognize it, it rolls out on top of the fact that it's going to different locations now. Now it's moving around. It's not doing the exact same thing.
Yeah,
So,
that is wild.
I don't know. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Paranormal Trucker Podcast. We have a Civil War soldier jump on the hood of our trucks at one of our stops. That's terrifying.
That is terrifying.
That is terrifying.
I assume it was only audible or not? Was it audible? Did it leave dents in your car? Or was it just like a visual thing? Be interested to know.
And it sounds like it's happened more than once. The hood of our trucks is plural.
Yeah, that's true. I couldn't.
Could you?
It'd be so weird. I did see a video like that on Paranormal Caught on Camera where they had something. I don't know if it jumped on the vehicle itself, but it like hit their car. It was a loud, audible bang, and then they took off after it trying to find it. But because they did get video footage of something in a gray, it was almost like a gray cloak run away from them while they were in a cemetery. Dude, it was bizarre looking, absolutely bizarre looking.
Oh man, there it is. You can see it and hear it scream, and then it disappears.
That's wild.
That is terrifying. Birdie's in the chat says, as part of an RV place now, kind of feel for whoever has to go there by themselves. Yeah, same.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm kind of unfamiliar with, like the ghost side. I haven't done very much ghost hunting. I don't know. I guess I just focus more on, around the house or whatever I've experienced could be that of a ghost, but I guess I always just attribute it to something else.
This paranormal trucker says it looks like smoke on the dash cam. That's weird. Burton, hey, did I ever tell you boys the story of the ex-Marine that was attacked by a ghost in my dad's junkyard? No, you have not.
Oh, I don't think so.
Told us the ghost attack.
I don't remember that.
Marine fight.
Hopefully he stabbed it with his K-bar.
Maddie says the bookstore I worked at for sure is haunted. Shadow figures, electronics going off randomly, alarms going off for no reason.
Is it?
Yeah.
Maddie is in regards to that. We're getting a phone call, but real quick, in regards to that, did you get used to it or did it always scare you? But I'm going to answer the phone now. So, hello.
Hey, what's up, Hollow fam?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Hey, this is Mariposa.
What's up?
Yo.
Hey, so I've got a sort of Bigfoot encounter.
Awesome.
Class B, I guess. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit if you want to hear it.
All right,
Yes,
let's hear
go.
it.
All right, cool. So at the time, I was 20, like early 20s, and I was living in the mountains in the High Sierra on the it was 7,000 foot elevation, and I was living way out in the middle of nowhere. It was great. I was actually an innkeeper. Well, I worked at a front desk at a really small inn. It was super spooky. There's a lot of stuff, but one time it was late June. There was a Delta Aquarid meteor shower, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go out and watch this meteor shower. It was like 10 o'clock. I went out to a deserted parking lot and set up a blanket in the darkest spot because I couldn't go into the woods at night. I had this really creepy feeling. I loved being in the woods in the daytime, in the forest, but at night, like I felt like something was watching me. It was super spooky. And, so I went out to the edge of the woods and I set up a blanket. I left my phone in my house and I chilled out and I totally got into the vibe of the forest. And like I could hear owls hooting and it was echoing throughout the mountain. And I could hear deer walking. I could hear the creek a ways away. And I could hear, like, I could locate where the deer were based on, like, I could tell where they were going to drink from the creek. Anyway, I was really zoned in. And again, I left my phone in the house because I didn't want my eyes to adjust brightness. And I was just staring at the sky. And all of a sudden, coming towards the creek, by way of the edge of the forest where I was, I heard humongous footsteps. I mean, it was like a big giant person walking through the woods. And I knew that there was a Boy Scout camp vaguely somewhere north of me. And I was like, maybe some Boy Scouts like somehow got lost or something. And so I stood up. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, hello? And it stopped. And I'm talking like big footsteps, like breaking branches. And it stopped. And then it fucking hauled ass the other way. I mean, it was roaring through the forest. And it would make this sound. It was like, you know those real wide bristle brooms with really short, stiff bristles?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like a push broom. It was like that scraping across rough concrete and super loud. Kind of like a bowl, I guess. But it was bipedal. And it spooked me out. And for the next month, I was going through like bear videos. I was like, I can't find any evidence of a bear making the sound. Like, what the fuck was that? And I felt so stupid a month later when I realized that in the town 2,000 feet down the mountain, I mean 2,000 feet of elevation, it was like 20 miles down the mountain, there's a mural of a Sasquatch like just in the town. And in one of the markets they have a stuffed Sasquatch just chilling in the store. And I was like, oh my God, it was fucking Bigfoot. I heard
awesome.
Bigfoot and I thought it was a Boy Scout or like a bear or something, but it was Bigfoot.
It's
Anyway.
so like typical of how we just write off supernatural encounters, you know. We're trying to find an explanation that we can figure out. Like
Totally.
me and Maddox had a Bigfoot encounter. We were out camping in the woods of Missouri, right off 44. And the night we were in the tent, I heard wood knocks and it woke me up probably 1:30 in the morning. Just raps, series of threes, bop, 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 bop off in the forest. Woke me up, but then it stopped. Didn't think anything of it. Maddox was eating Nutter Butters and he left a little case of his cookies out at the corner of our tent. And I got woke up again. Something was trying to get to the cookies through the tent. I just thought it was a raccoon or something. I was asleep, woke up, saw it reaching through. I just punched it, just wham, and then it took off. And then I fell back asleep.
God.
So I don't know if it was, I'm going to guess it was probably a raccoon or a coyote or something. My initial reaction was like, don't let it get in the tent. So I just went wham. but after the wood knocks, and now I'm putting everything together. I don't know. It's weird.
That's crazy. Well, so after I realized that it had to have been Bigfoot because it couldn't have possibly been a bear because bears don't run that fast. Like I did the math, like based on where I was and where I heard the punctuations of the snorting sound. I was like, there's no way a bear would run on 2 feet that far that fast, making those weird sounds. And I submitted it to the BFRO. And about a year later, I got an email from some dude in SoCal saying he wanted to interview me with Matt Moneymaker, the guy from Bigfoot Research Organization. And so we met at a pub, and it was like it was a podcast production, but with video or something. And it was Bizarre States, California, and from Nerdist. And so I met these people there, and I told my story, and there was another guy who told his stories of Bigfoot in the area. And it was super crazy. I mean, he had like class A, like straight up, like he saw Bigfoot, he saw the tracks, like they were hunting a deer. It was nuts. And they were making the yowling, like Chinese sounds.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was super wild. And then it never aired. Like that podcast or interview never aired. I never heard from them again. And I was like, what the fuck, guys?
Yeah, that sucks.
Damn.
I know.
was stoked.
It's been a disappointment. I keep researching it every few months. I'm like, maybe it popped up. Maybe I just didn't Google the right things, but I've Sherlocked pretty hard and I can't find anything.
They did a town hall meeting probably 10 minutes from my house at Pier Marquette, and I didn't know about it until after it had already aired, or after it had already filmed. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Gotta be kidding
Gross.
me. I'm trying to grow my hair out like Moneymaker.
So, and my report got pulled from the internet too.
What?
Yeah. It's not on the regional reports anymore. Like it used to be up there and now it's not. But now you guys know that's my story.
It is awesome.
And actually I have a relative back when I lived in Northwest Florida, which I do again now, but so when I was growing up, we lived out in the forest in like rural Northwest Florida, like basically South Alabama. Like I could ride my horses to Alabama. And so down here they call it the skunk ape. And my dad had a very similar encounter. Like he went out to the shop, heard somebody walking in the woods, hollered out hello, and then it ran off, and it was stinky and it was bipedal, and he didn't see it, but it was there. And he swore to me at the time. It's been a while since I talked about it with him, but yeah, he was pretty convinced that it was a skunk ape.
The skunk ape's one that really piques my interest. It seems like almost a different species of Sasquatch that lives down in the warm South, and it's always. I know Trina from Spooks and Creeps said that they might go on a skunk ape expedition this year, so I'm curious to see what they find out. Did you ever hear of anybody seeing any weird tracks or anything up at that elevation?
Not really, but it wasn't something that was on topic with the people I was hanging out with. Like I was a snow junkie, or not a junkie. I was a snow bum, ski bum. I snowboarded. we were snowboarding and partying. So
when we talked to Carter at the Kansas City paranormal and metaphysical convention, he was talking about the BFRO reports and then purging a lot of the reports. Like they for some reason they up their criteria so much to where if it didn't fit a very specific like sighting, they wouldn't post it, and they went through and purged a lot of them. So Carter actually used to be a member of the BFR. I'm not sure if he still is or not, but he says they were just washing all of these reports out that weren't ticking all the boxes that they wanted to after the show kind of took off. They just want very, very specific reports. So he kind of distanced himself from that. Now he's doing his own research, writing his own books, because so many reports are just getting swept under the rug when they need to be investigated. So it kind of sounds like the same thing that might have went on here.
Well, they're also leaving out pertinent details too.
Yeah.
They're only making it about Bigfoot, even if there is like a UFO connection there or anything else. They wash that part of the report and only keep in the Bigfoot oriented sections of it, from what I understand anyways.
Yeah. Well, something seemed sketch, and I was like, wow, that's weird. And to answer Bigfoot Society in the chat, yes, I met Showbot, and she was so pretty. It was like, how can somebody be that pretty? But yeah, so and I had a couple of like ghost encounters when I was, working overnight at the inn a few times. Nothing too crazy. Just some general spooky shit happening.
That's what I was gonna say. Whenever you started the conversation off with, I was an innkeeper at a tiny inn, up at 7,000 feet elevation. I'm like, this story's writing itself. It's writing itself right there.
And nothing too crazy distinct happened. Just like shadows in the corners and like doors closing when there was nobody in the inn. Yeah, I was buddy with the security guard. We chatted on the radio kind of frequently on account of that, because I was like, all right, somebody's in the inn. There's got to be somebody in the inn, and there's nobody, just me. So
make you feel a little uneasy.
just letting them know that, just letting you know that you're not alone.
Yeah. And I have a bunch of I had some pretty crazy demon encounters, and I don't want to talk about that right now, but I'd love to talk about it at another date when I feel like ready to do that, because
those ones get a little heavy.
Yeah, whenever you feel comfortable, the lines are open.
Cool. Well, I enjoyed chatting here, so
yes, us as well.
Pop in another time.
Thank you.
Y'all are awesome. I love the show.
Thank you so much.
All the time. It's great.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Stay safe and stay weird, Mariposa.
Hey, y'all have a good one.
You too.
You too.
Oh, I love it.
That was sick.
I love it. I love how, because a common thing with the, actually, I'm going to turn this off for just a second while I talk. I love how when she was telling the story, because a lot of people, and I'll be 100% fair. Like when I'm in the woods, you can hear a squirrel pitter patter, and you swear somebody's walking up on you. Like the noises in the woods do play tricks on you. But I like how when she said she was out in the woods, she could point out the specific animals, right? Like she heard the deer over here, and so she's already kind of, in a way, Xing that off the list.
Yeah.
Of possibilities, which I do appreciate. She was very audibly aware, like she was plugged into the environment
itself. What I was going to say. In tune.
Right.
I wonder if she made a thought pop into my head when she said she was out stargazing. I wonder if Sasquatch, if they're a biological being, if they take into account like things like meteor showers and shit, they're out checking it out too, or if it's just
Well, I mean, to be fair, I could see almost any animal. Like if they saw a meteor shower, I could see them stopping and acknowledging it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it would be an anomaly that they're not used to seeing. So
Yeah.
hell, they probably know it's coming just like we do. But we just know because people tell us. I'm not that tuned in. I wish I was, but
Burton, I could see Bigfoot stargazing. That's what I was thinking too. Like, I felt like he was just on his way to his spot, but Mariposa was already in his spot. It's like, damn, man. And then he just took off.
Good spot.
Yeah, he just took off, and he's like, "Well, I'll just go to my other one. I'll just truck it down the way."
It would be weird to like walk up on Bigfoot, like whether he's just standing there looking, or if he's like for some reason I envision him laying down on the hillside with his arms,
just kicking it.
Oh, look at that!
He's in tune. Now he's on the Sasquatch podcast, being like, "Man, I saw a human. I was out stargazing, ran into a damn human.
They was in my spot."
Appalachian Intelligence is in the chat. What up, AI boys?
What's going on, homies?
Bigfoot creates meteor showers.
Probably.
I mean, I can't
now
unprove it.
Gandalf the Bigfoot.
Now we are in the weird now.
That's definitely weird.
Sasquatch smokes the backwoods. Old Sasquatch.
That's awesome.
Leg.
That's awesome. I love it.
Bigfoot bong ripper.
That's right. He's definitely gonna be seeing some stuff. That's right. So what time? What we got here? 1:23.
We got enough time for one more.
Yeah, we could maybe take one more call if people are willing to. If not, we'll sit here and hang out for a minute.
Yeah, we can just kick it. See what's going on in the chat.
Yeah, it's been a night. Like I knew it would. I knew we started off with a bunch of weird shit. Actually, your brother is in the chat now, popping off.
Oh, dang, he is.
So we talked about Dylan.
I already talked about you, Dylan.
Yeah, you missed it. Everybody tuning in last minute. But to be fair, we are in a different time zone than a lot of people, so there is that.
That's true. I also want to let everybody know that's hanging out. Go and follow all of these independent content creators that are in here hanging out with us. Bigfoot Society, Paranormal Trucker, Silver Pill, Appalachian Intelligence, Local Legends with Burton.
Yes.
Go follow and support independent media because we're all out here grinding.
Right. Absolutely. And it is
anybody that I missed
grind.
Feel free to shout yourself out in the chat. Everybody go follow them. Go give them a like. Just get their name out there.
It's a tough grind, man. To be fair, I can't believe we've been doing it as long and consistently as we have.
Yeah, we're pushing 4 years. That didn't register in my brain until I was just thinking about it the other day. Like,
yeah, it's pretty crazy that we've been steady chomping away at it like this. But it doesn't. Awesome. It doesn't not be fun for me.
No, not at all.
Oh, we got another caller. So here we go. Last one of the night. Hello.
This is Bert.
What's going on, buddy?
What up, Burton?
How's it going, fellas? Hope you guys had a good Christmas.
Absolutely. Did
you as well? Oh, he did. He sent me a message.
Good.
He got Santa Claus was nice to him.
That's awesome.
I must have been good this year.
Good.
I got a story about an ex-Marine and a ghost at my dad's junkyard if you guys are interested.
Let's hear it.
You know we are.
Okay. So let me paint a picture for you. Summertime, my dad usually every year gets this company to come down from a nearby town to crush cars. And among them was my dad's old friend who was a Marine. I believe he's old enough to actually been in kind of situation. He told me many stories about terrible, terrible things that happened over there. And he's a Native American guy. I won't give his name. He did pass a few years ago, sadly. But so me and my brother Harold, We go into town, 5 miles from, the junkyard. And we're on our way back. The sun's pretty much almost down at this point, but we see the guy coming from the junkyard. He's waving us down, hands just flailing, like, pull the fuck over. Sorry, cursed.
So do we.
All right, fair enough. I didn't know if you guys were going to get upset on me. Oh, by the way, I did tell this story recently on Jeremiah Byron, the Bigfoot Society's live stream. So
Awesome.
if
Dope.
anybody's, shout out to him. Great guy. Met him in Van Meter, same time I met you guys.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, so he's waving us down. We pull over. He comes up to our vehicle, and we're like, "What's going on?" And he is pale. And like I said, he is Native American. He is very dark-skinned, and at this point, he looks very sick. We're like, "What is going on? This guy does not look good." And he goes on to tell us, "I'm not working here at night by myself. I'm not doing this by myself. I'm not doing it at night. I don't care." And we're like, "Okay, what's going on? What happened?" And, maybe rattlesnakes or something, because he was terrified of rattlesnakes, and that's a whole other story. But he goes on to tell us a story that he's in the front end loader, stacking cars, getting them ready for crushing in the morning. He looks over at his van, which is parked on the other side of the fence, next to the gate, and his lights are on in his van. So he gets out, he goes, turns off his lights, thinking that, oh, I'm an idiot, I left my lights on in my van. Gets back to front end loading, moving cars. Another 5 minutes pass or so, he looks over and the lights are back on. At this point, he thinks maybe, oh, these Moran kids are out here freaking with me, trying to mess with me. So he goes out there and he turns the lights off again. And is like, whatever, they're not going to do it again. 5 minutes later, lights are back on. He's getting pissed. He goes over, turns the lights off, back to front. But this time he locks the doors. He said, I don't give a shit. I'm going to lock the doors. So he locks the doors, back to work. Looks over again. About 5 minutes later, he says, the lights are back on. He said, by this time, it freaked me out because I know the keys are in my pocket and there's no way that you guys could be doing this. He says, I jump over the fence. I'm done. I shut everything down. I'm just getting out of here. He says he opens up the door to his van, takes one step up. Something grabbed him by the back of his collar of his shirt and drug him to the ground. Just slammed him. He looks up, nothing's there. No one's there. And then he jumps in his van, hauls ass out of there. And the next time he sees anybody is whenever he's telling me and Harold the story a few miles down the road.
Dude, that would scare the shit out of me.
I don't even know what I would do. Dude,
It was
how do you fight an unseen assailant?
Yeah,
like how do you fight
sure.
back?
For sure.
right. And like he's this whole time telling us, I'm never going back. I'm not going back there at night. And I'm just like, I don't blame you.
No, I wouldn't go back
Not if
either.
I gotta fight ghosts to do my job.
Exactly.
And the fun thing is, after I hear this great story, that's where my house is. So that's where I get to go.
Awesome.
Like,
Awesome.
Thanks a lot, man.
Sweet.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I've seen like a lot of people have been sending me a lot of reels on Instagram here lately of like, which would be fucking terrifying. There was one where this little boy, he was probably, I don't know, maybe 10, sleeping on the couch, and something grabs his foot and starts dragging him. Like,
oh my God.
Drags him off the couch onto the floor and then drags him across the floor. And could you imagine waking up to that shit?
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Oh, God, no.
That would, just something grabbing my foot and barely pulling on me and me being awake would fucking terrify me.
Yeah, I'd be done.
But the fact that you could either be drug across the floor, like in your story, where it is able to knock a person to the ground, a grown man to the ground, that's terrifying. Yeah. That is terrifying.
And, we've had time to think about it because we used to bring in cars from car accidents. People died in these things.
Oh, shit.
I
Yeah.
didn't think about that.
And we were, that's one of the things we thought about, is like what happened in these vehicles that something is attached to it.
For sure.
Yeah. I didn't think about that until you just mentioned
another
that.
thing.
Absolutely.
Our house, our whole area, we saw ghosts outside. We saw ghosts inside the house. And we're thinking to ourselves, are we bringing these in these vehicles? Are there ghosts attached to these messed up cars?
I would almost put money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Traumatic deaths.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
pretty heavy.
Yeah, if
I
they're
got
not,
one that
if they're not
I
staying
remember-
out there where the scene was, then I mean the next best is going to be sticking to that vehicle.
I've seen cars where people, this is gonna sound gross, teeth have been embedded in steering wheels.
Mm.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Makes my fingernails hurt.
Yeah, that's gross.
Sorry about that, Steve.
That's awful.
No, but yeah, exactly. And I remember one time, me and my cousin we brought in some, fresh cars. I was gonna say new cars, but I meant fresh cars because they weren't new by no means. But there was this Jeep, and it was nighttime. We bring them in. Me and my cousin are looking them over, and on the hood of this one car, somebody had like almost carved into it with like either a knife or something very sharp in a very small corner of the hood of the car. And all it said was, "Help me, it's got my mom." And we're like, what the hell is that?
What?
And yeah.
No.
No. That's a good answer. Yeah.
What?
Me and him are like, what the hell does that mean? What was
Yeah.
that about?
We need to find whoever carved that because we need context behind that statement.
This had to have been about 15 years ago. So, but I just remember we were looking at that one. And of course, like I'm telling them this story. There was one night where we were up on the junkyard. Moon was out. So you had like a shadow. And I was telling them this story and about what happened with the guy and the thing pulling him out of the van. And I was like, this is one of the craziest things that ever happened. And as I'm telling this story, we hear like footsteps behind us. And we're like, what the hell? And like,
Nope.
yeah, we just kind of booked it out of there at night. We're like, no, that's all right.
Yeah, that would be
I
my
know that
reaction.
feeling. That happened to me at Steve's the other night.
Oh, really? Oh,
bad.
God.
Yeah. Well, I was packing up to leave for the night, and Steve followed me out. We were just kind of shooting the shit, but I'd gone out just a hair ahead of him, and I was taking my stuff over to my vehicle, and then Steve come out, and I could have swore somebody walked up behind my vehicle, like toward the tailgate, enough for me to like stop and walk to the back of the vehicle. Didn't see nothing. I put my shit up, and I kind of chuckled, and I was like, man, like I swore I heard somebody walk, like, cause you, like, there's gravel there, so you can hear the audible.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, it must have been nothing. And Steve's like, you sure you didn't hear nobody? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. And he's like, that section back there has always weirded me out. For whatever reason, it's always weirded me out.
Oh, my God.
It always
And
give me
now-
weird vibes.
Yeah. And now I go out there, and now I'm instantly weirded out now. So I'm like, this is fucking great. Like, this is awesome. Thanks,
Don't
Steve.
mind the graveyard.
No, I'm more comfortable with the graveyard now.
It's fine. Which brings
Oh
me
my
to another point. I'm going on a bunch of tangents here since we're talking about ghosties and whatnot. But haunted graveyards, right?
Yeah.
You would think very few people die in a graveyard. You would think if somebody was going to haunt something or somewhere, they would essentially haunt the place where they passed,
Makes sense.
as opposed to a
Yeah.
graveyard. But there's
Makes
all
sense.
these like super haunted graveyards.
That's true.
Maybe because the spirits aren't willing to give up their body yet. Like there's a form of like denial. Like I'm not trying to.
I like
This
it.
is
I
not.
like
This
it.
is not happening right now.
Hmm.
That's a
Or
good point.
objects. You hear about spirits being connected to objects too, and a lot of times we bury
yeah.
our loved ones with
Wedding
jewelry.
rings and all
Yes,
kinds
absolutely,
of shit.
Oh, I
absolutely.
never even thought of the object
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, good
How
call.
shitty would that be?
Lockets, stuff like that.
How shitty would that be? Like if you didn't intentionally tag yourself to like a locket, and then it gets buried, and you're like, "Fuck, fuck."
Oh, man.
And then some fucking skeezy nerd digs it up and steals it. So now you have to just roll around with them to the pawn shop before
That
they sell you.
sucks.
My dad worked construction years ago, obviously, and he was telling me the story of they were working out on the reservation somewhere, and they actually accidentally dug up some Native American beads. And one of the guys he was working with was like, "Oh, I'm keeping those." My dad's
Put 'em
like,
back.
"Put them back, man. Put them back."
Put 'em back.
And he says, No, it'll be fine. I'm just gonna keep them. They're cool. And then like that same day, some equipment failure happened, and it just about smashed that guy's fingers. Like
Wow.
it did smash his hand, but he like, he was okay. Essentially, broken fingers.
Just
he
a
went
warning
back
shot.
and he went and put the beads back. He's like, that's enough of that.
Just a warning shot.
Yeah.
I've heard it a lot with the Native American stuff. You don't fuck with it. You leave it alone,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
which is crazy.
No.
It would have been hard. I'll be 100% honest. It would have been hard for me to not take it. No, like
right.
knowing what it is, like, because I find that stuff so fascinating. I would never take it out of like sheer disrespect.
Yeah.
It
no.
would be like it would be utter admiration for what it is and where it came from, and that's why I
Exactly.
would want it. But there's so many like, no, you leave it alone. You don't take it. You put it back. Don't mess with it.
It's kind of like owning a piece of history. It's something.
Yeah,
like that.
and
it's kind of special
preserving it,
Yes,
preserving history.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's kind of like why I took that part of that murder cabin we talked about.
Probably not your best decision.
Burton in his murder cabin rock.
I'm still planning on sending it to you guys.
Let's
so I don't know.
go. We'll put it in the thing with Lucy.
Boy. Oh boy, just keep adding the craziness.
Yeah, just put it in the same box as Lucy.
You guys were talking about the steps walking up behind you the other day, and that reminded me of also happened to me on the island that I went to. And me and Kathy were walking back after we got really far into the island, and I heard what sounded like somebody running up extremely fast behind me, like they
Oh.
were right behind me. And I turned around so fast, like I'm like, holy crap, thinking I'm about to get knocked down. And there's nobody there, but I still just about fell on my ass. I was
Oh,
like, what the
nice.
hell was that?
I bet.
So yeah,
Just the
That'd be-
idea of that freaks me out.
Yeah, that would make my blood pressure skyrocket, man. Think if somebody like is running full clip behind me, because I'd have the same thing. Like somebody is about to tackle me, push me down, whatever. Like it's not a. That's aggressive. Regardless, that's aggressive.
well, I'm walking out there with all kinds of equipment and camera and crap, and I'm thinking, am I about to get rolled out here?
Right?
Yeah,
For
right.
sure. For sure.
That'd be hilarious if a ghost took my crap.
That'd be a hell of a story.
Then
That
they
would be
just
amazing.
posted on your YouTube channel. They made their own clip.
Oh, they had videos of me like walking out of the woods just upset.
That's
This is
awesome.
crap.
That would be awesome.
That would be.
And how do you like it? Get out of here.
That would
That'd
be
be
awesome.
one step above everybody else if Burton's got the ghost working for him.
For sure.
Oh my god. Could you imagine?
It'd be great.
All right, guys, I need you to come in here and move some stuff.
Yeah.
Make some noise.
Money.
But I wanted to call in and let you guys, hear that story.
So we
So
appreciate it,
Hell
man.
yeah, we appreciate it. It was good chatting with you again, bud.
you too, buddies. I'll talk to you later.
All right, we'll
Yeah,
see you.
stay safe out there.
You too.
All right,
right.
Hollow Cult. That's another one in the books. I'm just gonna roll
That's-
through the chat here and wrap it
Yeah.
up.
Let's do this.
AI said a graveyard would be a convenient place to die, though. I mean,
You're
cut
not
out the
wrong.
middleman.
You're not
That's
wrong.
what I said. Nobody looks for bodies in the place where everybody else buries bodies.
It's true.
You know?
That is true.
Gypsy said there's supposed to be a haunted graveyard close to where I live, Union Cemetery in Connecticut, Easton, maybe. Definitely worth looking into. My little brother's in here, said growing up there, if I ever seen anything creepy, I always just thought it was Steve scaring me. Well, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't.
It was.
My uncle's house was within a cemetery. Weird shit always happened there. Can relate. Yeah, we're just gonna wrap her up there. Make sure everybody like and subscribe at the channel if you haven't.
Yes,
Set your
that'd be
notifications
appreciated.
on for future night shift episodes. And like I said before, go and support all of the independent content creators you have in here.
Please and thank
Because
you.
everybody grinds and everybody works hard and
Yeah.
everybody deserves to be heard.
Agreed.
But on that note, thanks for hanging out with us again. You guys were awesome. The chat was
Yeah.
wild tonight.
It's been so much fun.
We had the most people we've ever had in here, which
Yeah,
is
it's great.
dope.
It's awesome.
And until next time, Hollow Cult, stay safe, stay weird. And if Bigfoot comes to watch a meteor shower with you, maybe just invite him. Say, hey, there's enough room for two. We'll just check it out.